If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Your capacity to love others is limited only by your capacity to love yourself.
I learned to love myself.
It's why they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first. So if we know that we can only show up fully for the people we love if we are choosing love for ourselves, how do we do that when it gets hard? How do we stand for what we need when the decisions we make might cause pain to the people most important to us? What's up, tribe? Welcome to another episode of The Art of Choosing Love. My name is Adam Roa, and today's episode is all about what it looks like to choose love for yourself first. That may sound simple, but it's not. It's not always easy. Sometimes choosing love for yourself may look like disappointing the people around you. It might look like making decisions that hurt the people you love most. And that's what I was faced with when we headed off to Bali as a crew to create this music cocoon and dive into the expression of what wanted to come through me, which wound up looking very different than everyone thought it might.
Birthday, dear Ruby. Happy birthday to you.
This is everything I could ever wish for. This is so beautiful. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Ruby Chase, happy birthday. I'm so grateful that we got to land here on the day of your birth in Bali. And this song is for you. But you're the only one for me. Yeah, Ruby.
Bro, proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
So I figure while we're, figuring out what the album will look like, this can be a starting song to even
I would love to record that song, bro.
Yeah.
Ruby,
If we go get a guitar,
you can listen to it whenever you want.
I know.
What will happen?
It'll be maybe a problem because I won't listen to anything else.
You'll be upside down the
My
rest of your life.
repertoire. I know, I'm gonna just be like.
So if I take out a guitar and I do
I'm saying?
I do a G and then her ears perk up, and if I go to a C, she goes,
Rub my belly.
lyrically pet me, please. Rented this dope ass pad here in Bali and just really hunkering down, every single day, working on music, expanding my voice, expanding my writing, all of the things, and not knowing what that actually is gonna look like.
This is an entirely different experience. To come together with 6 other artists, all in their own zone of genius, and create is so powerful. And I know that the synergy is gonna be magic.
I've never done this before, to really take a intentional cocoon to focus on the art.
We get to surround ourselves with amazing artists, and that we're also friends, lovers, really close.
I'm excited to see how Adam Roa himself can step into his artist.
This is what I love. This exploration of doing something that he might have never thought he could do before.
The thing about Adam is he has no rules and he has no limitations of what he believes is possible.
Voices in my head, the doubt, you didn't earn this, you're not worthy of this, everyone around you is more talented than you, you're an emotional wreck right now.
I don't think I've ever really seen this level of vulnerability come out of an artist.
I have all the fears about the album itself, but I have equal amount of fears about what's happening in me, what's going on inside of me. I don't understand it fully. I'm in one of the most difficult periods of my life. I have realized recently that the word that most people would understand is depression. I haven't experienced anything like this since I was a teenager. And I recognize I'm in this chrysalis process of caterpillar to butterfly of some kind. Something is dying in me and something new is emerging. And it's really scary. It's really scary because I've been trying to break out of it now for like months and I can't seem to do it. And I see it impacting the people around me. So yeah, there's a lot happening here.
And so watching those interviews back, I'm able to see just how excited everyone was to get together and create music. I'm also able to see how much emotion was in me at that time. The stuff that had been contributing to this funk, this depression that I've been in. And so I took all of that into my meeting with my music producer, Angus Wilson, and what became really clear was that all of that stuff, all of that emotion wanted to be expressed. And this album was an opportunity for me to do that. But it wasn't what everyone signed up for. And so to choose love for myself in this moment meant asking for permission and risking disappointing everyone.
I want to call us all in this space to really understand the importance of this communication. That there's this stuff inside of, if I may, there's this stuff inside of Adam that's just heavy. What's in there is something that needs to be released, that needs to be put into music.
What became clear last night is that I haven't actually created art for me. What do I need to heal from like the hardest period of my life? I'm gonna use this album as an opportunity to just dive into it. Like really go into it. And what I'm asking for is a safe container for you guys to not take any of it personally. In my system right now, I feel parts of guilt because I'm staring at some of the most talented musicians I've ever met, and I feel selfish, and like there's gonna be a journey to this, but it's what I need. And so I'm just letting you guys know, and I'm asking everyone's permission because this is not forced on anyone. I want everyone to be here by choice. And this clarity only dropped in last night, so everyone gets a chance to opt in.
Different than what I thought it was going to be, and at the same time I didn't even have an idea of what it was going to be, really. So yeah, I opt in. I'm in, of course.
Sign me the f*** up.
I know a big part of my role in this is going to be to not take it personally. Let's do it.
March 20th, 2019. What an intense day. A minefield of emotions as Ruby let me know that it made her sad when I talk about Azrya. What am I supposed to do with that? I'm literally here in Bali working on a music album that is primarily focused on expressing all of my emotions around the breakup. So of course I'm thinking about Azrya. Am I supposed to censor that fact? I've asked for a safe container to feel whatever wants to come up, and now I feel like I have to walk on eggshells around Ruby, which is pretty shitty.
I'm asking for a safe container for you guys to not take any of it personally.
These are the moments where I wonder if I haven't really allowed myself the necessary space to heal before starting a new relationship. And whether it's an open relationship or not, it's still a relationship. Perhaps the smarter decision would have been a forced period of no relationships, celibacy. But what would that have truly accomplished? I didn't seek Ruby out. I wasn't actively calling anyone into my life. I had barely even opened myself up to women at all. And our connection is real. It's special. And it challenges me in so many beautiful ways. I see the growth. And yet the question I'm asking myself currently is if now's the time. I was in a relationship with Azrya for 40% of Ruby's life. There's no way she can understand that. And I may be underestimating how deeply this all runs within me and what's actually needed in this healing process. I'm desiring to choose love, but once again, I have no idea what that even looks like.
So we're going in the studio today. It's the day that Angus, Adam, and I all drop in on a new original track. And so I'm feeling really stoked and excited. How are you feeling?
I'm a bit triggered. I had a triggering conversation before coming in here, to be honest with you.
I can feel that.
Yeah, I'm like navigating it. I was at lunch with Ruby, and yesterday, or 2 days ago, we were having a conversation, all of us, around neck tattoos. And how Hart just not a fan of neck tattoos. And lo and behold, Azrya went and got a tattoo that comes up the side of her neck. And I didn't even see it. I wasn't aware of it. And Ryan had me look at it, and it's like, whoa, all right. And I asked Ruby, hey, did you see Azrya's tattoo? She's like, no. And I showed it to her, and I was talking about the neck tattoos, and we were talking about this thing. The follow-up was like a moment of silence, and then Ruby going, how much time do you think you spend every day thinking about her? It's like, like now, while we're in a creative cocoon, while I'm writing music about the breakup, like now, or just in general. And it just led into this conversation, and I asked her, well, how does that make you feel? She said, kind of sad. Here I am trying to be in this music cocoon where I allow myself to have all those thoughts, and I'm thinking about Azrya, not even from like any other aspect, and all the songs I'm writing are about it. I'm expressing this part of me, and now there's this association of, great, you know, like, do I need to censor myself?
I think a lot of like the aspects of Ruby kind of feeling that shit and like feeling jealousy, taking some of it personally, it's also natural.
She's doing an amazing
totally.
job.
She's
She's sitting here every day listening to me sing songs about how like my heart still feels for Azrya. You know what I mean? Like I get the space that she's holding, which is why I'm not upset with her. Yeah. But I don't know what to do about this. I don't know the idea.
March 24th, 2019. For the first time in my life, I believe I may be unfit to be in relationship. Only a week ago, I felt like Ruby and I were better than ever. Now, we may be on the verge of uncoupling. Knowing whether this is it for us is actually less about how I may feel in this moment, since it so clearly shifts, but is more about how often these waves are showing up. And it's me. This beautiful woman wants nothing more than to love me, to build a life together. And yet I can't seem to stay steady. My emotions fluctuate rapidly, perhaps more so than ever in my life. And I'm not judging myself for this.
I feel like shit.
I accept that this is a part of my healing process. But that doesn't mean Ruby needs to endure my emotional volatility. How difficult it must be not knowing if she will wake up and be fully loved, or arise to a man spiraling in his own world and having such little emotional bandwidth left for connection. Is it an unhealthy dynamic for her to be in? Am I even fit to make that decision? And so this is an example of what it can look like when choosing love doesn't wind up being simple. Because I chose to honor what felt true to me by asking the permission to make this album about expressing all of my emotions. And that wound up being really difficult for Ruby to hold. And despite how much she wanted to be able to hold that space, it was just too hard. And how difficult it was on her was making it incredibly difficult for me. I couldn't focus on the music because I felt like it was hurting her feelings. I couldn't focus on showing up for her because I had all this emotion that wanted to come through the music, and I didn't know what to do. So what was choosing love in this moment? Choosing love for me was taking the space to figure out how I actually felt. And that looked like heading to Ubud, which is an hour away from where we were all staying, and taking 3 days to myself, away from the container of the music, away from the tension that Ruby and I were feeling, and just getting clear on what was actually going on inside of myself.
There he is.
Bro, what's going on?
Just eating some dinner at the opening artist's reception for Bali Spirit Fest. The past 2 days that I came here, right, to create space and see what would happen, and both days led to today, which was my big breakdown day.
Really?
Yeah, I've cried like deep cries, like 3 deep ones and 1 shallow one today, 4 times throughout the day. Yeah.
Good.
This is a whole new level of like, that's what's so similar about the Azrya thing, is like I love Ruby, I do, and how hard it is for me to like sit here and tell you that like I'm not healthy for her and for me, like it's not a healthy dynamic to oscillate as much as I do right now. There's no judgment on that. That's just my process. But like to put that on her is not what I want to do. Yeah. It's not fair to her. And like I haven't been with me. I haven't. So there's a period I'm entering into that this music cocoon opened up of giving myself permission to be with what's deep inside here. And as it's been coming up, it's me recognizing there's a ton of shit that as it's coming up, someone else I can't be navigating someone else's emotional experience and have the freedom to fully just be with what's here.
Someone that you're in an intimate relationship with.
Yeah. I can't worry like, holy shit, I'm having all this stuff around like the loss of the daughter I thought I was gonna have with Azrya, the loss of that. Like it feels like having like vegan food chain, like a miscarriage or something, like being with that and that coming up and be mourning that and know that there's someone I'm waking up to in bed every day that like wants me to love her. How do I do that? It's been a really hard day. So it's good to see you.
I love you so much, man.
So this episode has shown you the ways in which I have been choosing love for myself. By risking disappointing the people I love most by not meeting their expectations and asking for what I needed with the music. And then asking for what I needed with the space. And risking hurting Ruby's feelings by saying, I need to take some days away from you and away from this situation to figure my stuff out. And the thing is that choosing love for yourself is often really difficult. It can feel incredibly painful. Love can sometimes feel painful. But when you know that you are choosing love for yourself, you can stand behind the decisions that you're making because you know you're moving towards love. You are moving towards something as opposed to running away from something. Right now in your life, think about the decisions that you have in front of you and ask yourself that really honest question. Am I running from something or am I moving towards something? Because so many people right now on this planet want to choose love for themselves, but are so afraid of what that might do to the people around them. But is that actually choosing love? Or is that actually choosing fear? And so, for me, I was willing to risk the disappointment of the people I love. I was willing to risk hurting their feelings as I moved towards the knowing that I was going to choose love for myself so that I could actually show up more fully for them. This has been me showing you what putting my oxygen mask on first has looked like, even when it hasn't been easy. And so I encourage you to do the same. Take the space if you need it to gain the clarity, and at the end of the day, make the choice that feels most in line with who you want to be. And stand behind that. Honor your needs first so you can show up fully for the people you love most. I want to remind you that always, in all ways, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. And by the way, there was still one more decision I had to make to honor what I actually needed and choose love for myself. And it was the most difficult one yet.
Thank you guys for coming for this impromptu gathering. Appreciate it very much. What I have realized yesterday morning in a really powerful meditation is that I am unhealthy to be in relationship with. With all the stuff that is unresolved in me currently from the breakup that I didn't know was there. Being in this dynamic has allowed me to see all the parts of myself that are not yet ready to step into relationship as the man that I desire to be. And so, last night Ruby and I made the decision that we are going to end the container of our relationship.